And I don't know, my man, he might not want to say nothing, but I'm telling you, my true inspiration, man, is truly in the building. As you guys know, jamsradio.com and Detroit Legacy Sunrise, along with Pop Solutions, man, and so many others. I would like to just thank y'all, man, for putting this together for us here, the Media Podcast Broadcasting Training Studio. Okay, and as you know, our location is 15400 Grand River in Greenfield. Now, it used to be the Tower Center Mall, but now it's called Sweet Livings Incorporated. Shout out to Bob and shout out to Sherry, even Mr. Gino Washington, who got me here. I want to just talk a little bit about some things that's going on. As you know, Nat Morris is one of my mentors. I call him my goddad. And it's actually their 49th anniversary for the scene at WGPR in Detroit, Michigan. You guys already know about the scene. I went on YouTube on Nat Morris channels. If you don't know about it, go on natmorris.com on YouTube. And he had some hits on there. It was like 100,000 hits on the video, and different things was going on there. I mean, it's like really, really popular. And so right now what I see bloggers and content creators doing, they're taking the scene and making little clips, I like TikTok clips out of them, you know, and showing people coming down the dance line. And they showed the Huggins brothers. I saw one clip with the Huggins brothers in what we called the opening spread back in the day. And so the scene right now has taken on a new life. It has breathed fresh life, if I can say, into Detroit again. You know, we was really, really popping through the 80s. And well, I came in 79. I think Nat Morris and those guys, Mr. Nate McAlpine, and yeah, shouts out to, and rest in peace to Ray Henderson. These guys were the forerunners to everything that's going on in Detroit when it comes to fashion, style, music, promoting music. I mean, talking about, I came out of the military in 79 and I looked on the television. I was sitting down, I happened to see this show. Everybody was dancing. And I used to love the Soul Train before I went into the military. I came out, so I was like, what's going on TV? They dancing on, they said they dance, that's in Detroit. I'm like, what? A dance show in Detroit? Now, mind you, I've been gone like 4.5 years. And who was Soul Train when I left? So I said, wow, where is this at? They said on Jefferson. I took the Van Dyke bus on Jefferson. This is just my story and my testimony. And I went down there and I couldn't get on for like about 4 weeks. Yeah, about 4 weeks I got passed over. You come on. Yeah, I got passed over for about a good 4 weeks, maybe longer. So then I realized, because I'm like, not even been on the block in about 4.5 years. So I don't have on the right attire. I'm looking still military cut. I haven't went to Hot Sam's and Sherman's clothes yet, right? Or Joe Porter's, yeah. So when they told me that, I went down there, I got a nice little colorful outfit. Don't you know I got picked that same week? Ronald J, Mr. Ronald J, one of my best buddies. Yeah, he reached over and he picked me up. I had on all white, I think, or white with some burgundy accessories. At the time, Nat Morris was there. I'm just telling my testimony, y'all, give me a minute. At the time Nat Morris was there, I didn't know him from a can of paint and all like that. I had heard about him on the radio. He used to do a radio show out of a storefront back in the day. That's the Nat Morris that I knew about. And then when I came back, he was doing a television show. So I was like, okay. But when I started dancing on the show, I came on as a dancer. Long story short, something that happened. Nat Morris had went on a 2-week vacation or whatever. They needed some people to help in. That's how I started helping behind the scenes. Nat Morris wasn't even in town. I think Ronald J or RJ or someone, I said, I can do this. And I was just helping, just helping, doing whatever I can do. Nat Morris came back, he heard about it. He said, hey man, I heard you've been down here doing a good job, doing some back behind the scene things. And I said, yeah. He said, well, if you want to come on and stay on, I really can't pay you right now, but opportunities are available here, so you see what you can do. And I said, hey, it sounds good to me. And the rest is history. I went on to work very closely with Mr. Nat Morris in the scene. WGPR was even the chairman of their picnic one year. Didn't even work there, but they saw favor in me and gave me the chairman position. But me and Nat Morris, we did the scene together. We did lots of television commercials together. Prince with Mr. Billy Sparks and Q. That was one of my biggest projects ever to this date, working with Prince through Mr. Nat Morris and Billy Sparks. I remember we used to work in the studio there. Mr. Nat Morris had a high rise about 14 stories up. And he had a studio in there, and I used to edit in there, all of that. one day Billy Sparks came in, and he had a script, a movie script. So we was kicking it or whatever, and he brought it out and was showing, you know, and it was like, wow, this is amazing. It turned out to be the Purple Rain movie. Turned out to be Purple Rain. And that movie, Purple Rain, for you guys that don't know, and appreciate y'all listening. So, but the movie went on to be, I mean, like, it's classic. It's like #1. And it was inspired by Nat Morris, the scene, and everything about Detroit. That movie was inspired by Detroit. Billy used to say that all the time. Oh, Prince, he love you. He love y'all up here, man. He love y'all. And so I can see the similarities and how he was pumped up, because at that time, he did like a 7-day, whole week concert in the city. So he was getting juiced up and fired up with that geek sound, that geek and that geek. And he actually put out a beautiful, good movie called Purple Rain. Yep, so those are some of my great memories. And as you guys know, I am publishing a book. A shout out to my publicist, but shout out to everyone that's involved in that. It's called I Survived Detroit. I feel like I've survived Detroit. Coming up in Detroit, a young boy, did not know where I was gonna go, see stress, taking my uncles and stuff to prison, jail. I asked, where my uncle at? He went to jail last night. Stress, the police, everything about Detroit was really, really bad for a black person. I'm just gonna take it there for 1 minute and I'm gonna get off of it. But I didn't know how I was gonna make it at 8 years old and 13 years old. Looking at and seeing all of this, I'm like, oh my God, this is not good for a black man coming up. How can you do that? I didn't have no father, just my mom. She was a strong woman, but it was just my mom. Long story short, Nat Morris once again, coming out of the military and went down to the scene. Nat Morris became, to me, I mean, this man was very, very trusting in me. He believed in me. We were able to talk, communicate. Everything about life, man, was in between me and Mr. Nat Morris. So I hold him dear to my heart. People, you know, such as day, such as life, you know, everything is not gonna be okay, but everything is gonna be all right. And I can say that, and I'm proud to say that, man, with my man, Mr. Nat Morris, man. It's a beautiful thing, Mr. Nat Morris, man. You took me to heights, man, that I don't take it for granted. All the stuff you let me do, all the stuff you gave me abilities to do, my own programming. I remember I wanted to produce the scene. You said, pick, producing the scene is already being produced. When you're a producer, you have to get your own thing and produce it. That's producing. This is already produced. You're assisting in producing. I said, oh, okay, I get it. And then I came up with Rap's Corner. Then started Rap's Corner and got me a host. Her name was Cole Medina. And we did some years with Rap's Corner, and it was very, very notable in the industry with that show. So Mr. Nat Morris, man, without you, and thanks be glory to God Almighty, because he knew it to be so. I didn't know what was going on, for real. But he took me places, man, through Mr. Nat Morris, man. That's just, I mean, Nat, I want to tell you, man, in front of everybody, man, I average about 46,000 listeners a day. I don't know where I am today. But, and this is across the country, so once again, I appreciate y'all too, man, for joining us in Detroit, Michigan. But Nat Morris, this is our 49th year anniversary on the scene, being an entity, man, an icon. 49 years. Next year will be the 50th. 50-year celebration has got to go down. Y'all with me on this. Y'all got to blow up the airways. Y'all got to make this thing happen. I don't know. He did electricity with DTE, and it was off the chain. There was so many, 40,000, maybe 70,000 plus people out there. So, Nat, you might have to do this outside. Yeah, you might have to do this a 3-day event or something outside, and then have you or engagement. But everybody loves you, and I'm speaking for the city of Detroit and everybody around, or Arizona, whoever moved away, California. Shout out to Lisa Maps, everybody, man, that's really loving you across this whole country. They keep your name and that show alive, man. You're a walking icon right now. And the blessed thing about that, Nat, is that you don't even walk like that. You walk regular, normal, everyday person. You would see him in Family Dollar. You wouldn't, you know what I'm saying? It's like, you don't carry that air to where it's all about me and I did this, look at Mr. Nat Morris. No, that's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing, man. So from my heart to yours, man, and everybody around me that knows me and that knows you. Because I get all that all the time. How's Mr. Nat Morris doing? Y'all was killing them back in the day with the scene. Yeah, Nat Morris taught me everything I know about TV. That's why I'm doing my program now. He taught me everything from lighting. I came in production, stage managing positions, learned lighting with him, learned gel, learned coloring, learned sack pulling, how to pull the rugs out the sack. You know, everything about television and production. I owe this to my man, this man right here, Mr. Nat Morris. So, Nat, man, I know you're here with me. You didn't really want to say too much here on this. And this is actually going on podcast radio. We have a new segment that we're doing. It's just straight up talk. It's called Podcast Radio on jamsradio.com. Thanks a lot to my listeners, man. 3 years strong that we've been on the radio. And when I first went on, you really was excited about me. Pig, you're on the air. Wow, this is amazing. You know, you've always been supportive of me. So with that being said, Nat, man, I just, 50 years is coming up next year. I want to be involved to the 10th power. I know I am. You already told me that. Get in where you fit in. Do what you do, Pig. So, I do this for my mother. My mother used to love her some Mr. Nat Morris. She felt like he was a good person to be in my life. She trusted him with me, and all of that. She used to tell you that too, Nat. Yeah, she told you that. So I'm doing this for my mom and everybody I love. But Nat, man, so how you doing, man?
Thank you, Pick. Thank you very much, man, for I'm listening to all of those beautiful words you have just expounded right there. It's like I'm left speechless, you know.
You're never speechless.
Yeah, well, what I did, God put me in a position, and my thing is love and spreading the love, spreading the wealth, spreading the joy. If I taught you something, and it was just me being a vessel for God to get it to you, that's how I've been all through my career when I was working. I'm retired now, but when someone came to me or approached me, I did whatever I could do to help that person without fear or favor. And most of those people right now, I don't even remember who I helped or what I did to help them. I get it all the time, though. You helped me do this, like you were just saying. I helped you do this, I helped you do that. And
you never even thought of it.
I never look at it like, okay, you owe me because I helped you. It's like, hey, God,
you take the credit
put me
for
in a
him.
position.
Like, I did that for he did that for me. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's what I hope happens here with you and your students is that you share the knowledge so that maybe one day one of them will come back and say, hey, Mr. Nelson, it was because of you and your class is why I'm where I'm at today. And so, hey, God bless you, man. Thank you a lot for having me on the program.
I appreciate that, Nat. Now, just to talk about your 49th year anniversary, that's this year, but however.
Well, October the 13th was the 49th year. The Scene television show started October the 13th, 1975. So in 2025, that would be 50 years ago. And so when you think about the 49th, which is normally kind of glossed over to the 50th, everybody, they've got a name for the 50th anniversary, like the 25th is the silver and the 50th is the golden. So, coming up on a golden anniversary, we're going to be looking to do something. We don't know what, but there was a 12-year period in Detroit from 1975 through 87 that this show was on the air. And as you mentioned, it's getting new life now due to the World Wide Web, the internet. People are finding out about it, and
they're loving
it too,
man.
Yeah.
It's like they're clicking views like it's astronomical views. Everything on. Tell them your YouTube channel.
The YouTube channel is at Nat Morris on YouTube, so you can just go to YouTube. or Google and just type in Nat Morris now, and it will show up.
He said now.
Yeah, now.
You like that, you're in the algorithm.
More people watch.
Yeah,
more,
he's being modest, but he's killing them on the views.
It comes up in the search engine.
Yeah, very regularly.
Nat Morris, The Scene, type in The Scene or Nat Morris, and you could get to the channel.
Yeah. And shouts out to Billy T. He did a marvelous interview with you about a few weeks ago.
Right.
And it was nice.
Thanks, Billy. Thanks, Billy T.
Yeah,
Around the D with Billy T.
Around the D with Billy T. And he had that show because once we came out the air, he came on the air with Contempo, or did...
it was Contempo.
Right, but did Gerald McBride do it first and then he took it?
I don't know.
I can't remember.
Gerald might have been the first host, and then Billy. I'm not quite sure.
I think so, because then Gerald left and went to Rochester, New York, and was working as a DJ. Mm-hmm. And then Billy T had it for a minute, but it was short-lived. But they tried it. That's just the impact that you had. That they just couldn't let that die. They wasn't gonna let that die.
Yeah. Well, when the station was formed, they decided to have a dance show to produce their own programs. And so they started producing the show. However, at a certain point in 1979, you mentioned 79 earlier, I took over the show in 1979, and it became my show at that point.
Even past Ray Henderson at that point.
Ray had quit. Ray didn't last on the show but about 6 or 7 months. He decided to move on to a different thing. Neither one of us had envisioned television hosts as part of our career.
Right.
And it just happened.
Because I was talking about how you were a radio personality out of storefront. Furniture storefront?
Right. WGPR was a pioneer in remote broadcasts. And when I came to town, they were doing a few remote broadcasts around holidays and different times. However, this particular client, Quality Furniture at Gratiot and 7 Mile, decided that they wanted to try a remote during the week, and so they started like a Monday through Friday, and that Monday we had paid for that day. I think Monday may have paid for the week, I'm not quite sure, but it was such that the immediate impact of having GPR radio, Nat Morris and Ray Henderson there was good for this client's business, and we stayed there 3.5 years.
Oh wow!
Yeah, 3.5 years broadcasting.
Oh wow! Who knew that? So Quality Discount Furniture. Yeah. Mr. Nat Morris and Ray Henderson.
The person is that store is still the owner of that changed it to Nationwide. French Road, where the railroad tracks.
Oh, I know where that's at. Gratiot and French Road. Yeah, that's them. That's where it was at. Exactly. So Nat Morris, man, appreciate you, man, for spending some time. I'm glad that my listeners here, they found it interesting. And shout out to Thelma Stubbs, all the Stubb girls, Rhonda, got shout April out. All of the girls, man, they're doing marvelous things. And all they talk about is Mr. Nat Morris, the scene. But my thing is Brian Nelson now. I think, the profession that I'm in, Mr. Nat Morris, what you guys have afforded me to teach people.
Well, hey, congratulations on your new podcast venture and Detroit Empowerment Program, and you have big success.
Yeah, man, appreciate that, man. Look here, this was Nat Morris on the radio with me, man. Podcast radio is our new venture that we're doing inside of jamsradio.com. Shouts out to everybody. Nat, you don't know, man, I'm going to throw this on the air. It's going to be nice. Okay. And I appreciate you for allowing me to do this, man. With you. It wasn't planned, it wasn't even intended, but the Lord just put it on our spirit to let it go. I want to support, and I want you guys to support in everything that's getting ready to happen next year. Once you hear about the 50th and all like that, I know it's just going to be out the chain. We just got to be ready for it.
Put it in the Lord's hand and see what God do,
Yeah, but hopefully, we're going to pray He give us enough wisdom to handle this, because, I think that's going to be like monumental. So shouts out to Jason Crowther too, and Rhonda Walker at Channel 4. They have been really milestones over here with me. in promoting what I'm doing here with the Detroit Empowerment Program. So Rhonda and Jason, man, appreciate y'all. You know, I know y'all not gonna hear it live, but you'll hear it. Because I'm kind of like one of the #1 content creators for Channel 4 right now. Yeah, so, but shouts out to y'all, man. Detroit Radio in the building. I'm your man, Detroit Piccolo. We just did about a good 20 minutes. There you go. That's what I teach, 20-minute podcast.
All right.
Yeah, so we do like 4 of them, you good. So every one is 20 minutes though, because 2 hours is what it is, but we break them into 20 minutes.
Yeah. All right.
Peace and love.